What if I told you? A landlocked country is quietly preparing to become a naval power. And it could change Africa forever. No coastline, no ports, no direct access to the sea. And yet Ethiopia is making moves that could reshape power in one of the most dangerous waterways on Earth. The Bab el-Mandeb Strait, also known as the Gate of Tears. A choke point where global trade, military tension, and geopolitical ambition collide. So why is Ethiopia, cut off from the ocean since 1993, suddenly obsessed with building a navy? And more importantly, who stands to lose? To understand Ethiopia's ambition, you have to go back in time. Back to when Ethiopia wasn't landlocked. Before 1993, Ethiopia had access to the Red Sea through Eritrea. Ports like Asab were lifelines fueling trade, military movement, and economic growth. But everything changed when Eritrea gained independence. Overnight, Ethiopia lost its coastline, and with it control over its economic destiny. Today, Ethiopia relies heavily on Djibouti for over 90% of its imports and exports. Imagine a country of over 120 million people, depending almost entirely on another nation just to access global markets. That's not just inconvenient. That's strategic vulnerability. Fast forward to today, Ethiopia is no longer willing to stay boxed in. The government has made bold declarations. They want access to the sea, not just for trade, but for power. In recent years, Ethiopia has begun rebuilding its navy. Yes, a navy without a coastline. Training programs, military partnerships, strategic agreements. Reports suggest Ethiopia has been negotiating access to ports in neighboring countries like Somaliland. In fact, a controversial deal has already sparked regional tensions. Because this isn't just about ports. This is about influence. Now let's zoom out. The Bab el-Mandeb Strait isn't just any waterway. It connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden, and ultimately to the Suez Canal. Nearly 10% of global trade passes through here. Oil, goods, military fleets, and it's already crowded with power players. The United States, China, Middle Eastern nations, all watching, all competing. Everyone wants control, or at least influence. Now imagine Ethiopia stepping into this arena. A rising African power with a massive population, growing economy, and increasing military ambition. That changes the equation. Because if Ethiopia gains reliable access to the sea, it could challenge existing alliances, shift trade dynamics, and even spark new conflicts. Because access to the sea means more than trade. It means influence, leverage, power. If Ethiopia secures reliable port access, it could reshape trade routes, challenge regional alliances, and shift the balance of power in East Africa. But not everyone is comfortable with that. Neighbors are watching closely. Some are uneasy. Others are preparing. Because history has shown us something very clear. When nations fight for access to the sea, it rarely stays peaceful. But here's the twist. Ethiopia's naval dream might not just be about defense or trade. It could be about survival. Internal pressures, economic strain, population growth, political tensions are pushing the country to think bigger, to secure resources, to assert dominance, and to avoid being cornered in a rapidly changing region. But this ambition comes with risk. Neighbors are watching closely. Some are uneasy. Others are preparing. Because history has shown, when landlocked nations reach for the sea, it rarely ends quietly. So here we are, a country without a coastline, preparing to enter one of the world's most strategic naval arenas. a move that could redefine power in East Africa and beyond. Will Ethiopia succeed in securing its place by the sea? Or will this ambition ignite tensions that ripple across the region? One thing is certain: the battle for the Gate of Tears is far from over, and Ethiopia is no longer sitting on the sidelines. It's stepping into the game. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the world is changing fast, and the next global power shift might come from where you least expect it.